Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Adria Matrix Supreme 670 SL. Right. So as we start the walk round on the driver's side first, the Adria key here operates all the locks on the motorhome, and then this just does the cab and the diesel. So here you do have your locker where you've got your mains connectivity point. So you get your hooker blade, hook on here first, then hook your sight, and then obviously do in reverse when unhooking, as we wouldn't want you walking around with a live lead. And then just underneath here you've got your external 12 volt tele sources and USB for your awning, should you have a TV aerial fitted. And then with the cable, you've got two grooves here for cables running in and out where you can shut the locker. So if you just put the cable in there, shut the door, and then turn, then you can lock the door like so, and then push it in so that the lock is flat with the handle. If it wasn't, you'd get the little red lip around the lock barrel there which shows it's open. So push it in and turn. Your habitation door is on the central locking with the key, so you just lock and unlock, or you can manually use the key. You've got your two fridge vents, your awning and your awning light. You can set here, you must close the blade first to lift and pull out, and then you've got wheels on there so you can drag it to your waste disposal site. And then what you need to do is simply take the cap off, press the orange button there, tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, if you put some water in, give it a rinse, tip out again. And if you're using the liquid form of chemical, cap full straight into here, and it's good to go back into the vehicle. If you're using the tablet form, you put a pint of water into here, drop a tablet in, and that'll break down into the liquid. But that's just the easier way of storing the chemical than having the big bottles. Coming to the back of the vehicle, you've got your large garage space. So you've got your tethering rails. If you wanted to tie a load down, you can just move these along the rails. You've got your ladder there for your drop down bed, your awning winding handle, your carpets and your car mat. This is where the back's stored for the fifth belted seat, which is the side facing bench seat behind the driver's seat, which converts, which I'll show you when we're inside. You've got a 12 volt 10 amp point there and a 240 volt when hooked up. External shower point, so the hose would clip in here, and then as long as the pump was on and you had hot or cold water, this is great for hosing the dogs off, or the kids, or the bikes or shoes. You can go hot or cold, and then all you need to do, there you go, you've got your shower, so you can rinse off there. We've got a storage drawer in the middle there, which is the one that runs from inside. So if you go underneath the first step between the two beds, you can access that. And then on this side, you've got the toolkit there. So should you need to change the wheel, you've got a jackknip brace and a tone eye in there. So once you step inside the motorhome, you've got your 12 volt control panel, and on this model you've got your Alde heating. So start off with this one first. So you've got your on off here. This is touchscreen as well as using the wheel. You've got your lights, so you can touch. So if you use the dial there, that's your on and light, which you can turn on or off. You can go to your main lights, turn them on and off. Below you've got your temperature of inside the motorhome and outside. So as you can see, inside's 23 degrees, outside is 10. You've got your settings, so you've got your backlight, your date and time, and your screen timeout for when the screen turns itself off. You've got your pump here, so you can turn your pump on and off for your water, on and off. And then this side, you've got your batteries, so you can view your battery level. So you should see that the engine battery is 14 volts and the leisure battery is 14.3 volts, which is, and 2.38 amp is coming off that battery, so you can see your withdrawal. And then you can see your water level, so you've got 25% of fresh water and 0 waste, and then you've got a back button there. But from here you can kind of see everything without going into it, so you can see that you're hooked up, that your awning light's off, that it's 23 degrees inside the vehicle and 10 outside. You're charging your leisure battery, you've got 25% of fresh water, 0 waste, and the pump is off. And then to operate the Alde heating system, so you turn on and off here, you'll get this screen which is telling you that it's 9 degrees outside and the temperature that you've set is 27 degrees inside. The fan's on and we're hooked up. But to get into the menu, you just press menu. Obviously you can, the house, you've got a plus and a minus, which is the temperature of the vehicle, so I've set that to 26.5 degrees. You've got your water, which is on or off at 60 degrees of heating your water, and then you've got your electric, which is off on 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, or 3, depending on your site feed. And should you not have any electric, you can have the gas on, which is the one at the bottom when it goes green, or you can have the electric and gas on together should it be that cold and you want to heat the vehicle up prior and get it at temperature quicker. With the Alde as well, so you do have your settings, so you can go into your settings, but I'll not overcomplicate it for first. So you've got your gas on, your electric, your hot water and your temperature. But with the Alde heating system, say you've had the engine running, you've drove to site, what it can do is on the Adria models is it doesn't waste any heat off the engine. So it's got what's called a heat exchange, which is a switch just under here. It says there Heather exchange pump, and it means heat exchange pump. So you turn that on, and what it'll do is the wasted heat from the engine, it'll pre-warm the boiler, which will then in theory make the motorhome warmer quicker. And then underneath you've got your telly bracket, 3-pin plug, a 12 volt and a connection for the aerial. But to operate the TV bracket you'd have to pull this down, and then what you want to do is slide it out. So pull it down, slide it out, and then what you can do is turn the TV, mount the TV on here. You can turn it round in the bedroom, or of course you can turn it into the lounge. And then always make sure it's back facing and then it's pushed in and it's clipped in there, so it shouldn't. So it needs to be pushed in, pull that down, push it in and clip it in so that it's secure for when you're on the road. And then you do have your step switch, your lights which are dimmable just here. So to operate your Thetford tall fridge freezer, you turn on here, which is where you get the blue light, and then you would press, which will indicate which source you're on. So at the minute it's A, which stands for automatic energy selection, and it's automatically gone to the hookup, which is mains 240 power as we're hooked up. So with the automatic energy selection, it knows which best source is suitable for you. So at the moment we've got a gas bottle on and we've got the hookup. Obviously it knows not to waste your gas, so it's gone to the hookup. If I was to then start the engine, it would go the 12 volt battery setting, which isn't off your leisure battery, it's off your engine battery. When the alternator is running, it sends a feed direct to the fridge to keep it at the same temperature it was at when departing. So the idea here is that you'd pre-chill your fridge either at home the day before, put your shopping in, chill it all down, and then when you're ready to go the next day, if it's on automatic, it'll automatically switch over. Or if you're moving from site to site, your shopping stays fresh. If you did want to move it manually, you would press this square button here, wait till it starts flashing and use the arrows. So there I've gone on to mains power I've gone onto battery, or I've gone onto gas on its own, and then you get the temperature. Obviously 1 bar being the warmest, 5 bars being the coldest, and then that is lit on gas. When you have finished using the fridge for the season, if you do just clean it all out, give it a wipe down, leave no remaining items in the fridge, and then if you just pull this blue little catch out, it'll stop the door from locking on itself and forming an airtight seal, which means then the mould and the won't grow in the fridge because there's air ventilating in and out. And above the fridge on this model, you've got the Adria Media Center. So what this is it is a Bluetooth speakers within the ceiling. So you turn on and off just down here on the little button here, and then you turn the volume, connect your phone via Bluetooth, or you can connect via auxiliary or USB-C on here, and then you can stream your music and it'll play throughout the various parts of the vehicle, including behind the shower, which I think is a very good feature. And in the kitchen area, you've got your lit oven, and above your grill. And with the oven shelf, you always want to make sure that the funny shape is at the back, which stops the burner from being blocked. And you might want to take your oven shelves and grill pan out when travelling. Your catches, so to lock, you'd push them in, push them out, use the handle, obviously pull the door front down. You've got storage under here, storage drawers, and if you just push here, this is where you'll find your gas isolation taps. Any problems with gas, turn the bottle off just to be safe. These are mainly for when the vehicle is yearly habitation serviced. And above, so you've got your 3 gas rings. So lit there, allow them to cool down before you put the glass lid down. And above, you've got your drawers and cupboards on gas struts. This just shows that your hot water is working and shows your water pump working. As you can see there, you get your steam off your water, which indicates that the Aldi heating system has heated the water up to temperature. And to control your electric drop down bed, there's a small switch just here, and you just bring the bed down. It's just on a 12-volt electric motor. This bed takes a maximum weight of 200 kilograms. Depending on what height you want to stop it at, you may have to just remove these 2 headrests. But then you do have nets on both sides, so if you put small children up here, you can stop them preventing rolling out during the night. But it is a double bed, and then you have got a privacy curtain which slides along as well. But should this switch fail or the 12-volt fail, you've got a little reset fuse there for the 12-volt, which just resets the bed motor. So if somebody gets on and you try to put it up with some weight on, it can tend to cut the motor out. Just for safety, you would just have to reset the fuse, which is this one here, and then you can push the bed back up. So at the back of the 670 SLT Matrix Supreme, you've got 2 single beds which run down the centre of the vehicle. But if you did want to make it into a double across the width of the vehicle, you would just pull this board out here, put your infill cushion in, and then you do have a double across the van. Removing the cushion gives you access to storage underneath the steps, got underneath 2 here. And then you have got a storage compartment at the bottom as well. And then you've got storage drawers on the driver's side of the vehicle, and on the passengers. If you push this in, this is your wardrobe, so you can push the door out. Then you might think, how do I get in when the door's blocking us? You just push the door in, folds away, and gives you access to the wardrobe area. In here you'll notice this is your headrest, so your headrest for your 5th travelling seat clips in here. And then you've got your wardrobe hanging rail. And your beds have got the reclining function, so you can sit it up, use it as a bit of a day bed, or you can pull it all the way up and it will release down like so for sleeping. You have storage above the bed, which you would just push to open the locker door, and it is on a gas strut. And below you've got a dimmable switch, so you just press and hold and it'll dim the lights down and turn them off. The location of your Aldi fluid tank, your expansion tank, is just underneath the USB. So if you just remove this cover here, this is the liquid, the antifreeze that runs through your system, your heating Aldi system. So as you can see, you've got a min and a max there. Always check the level when the system is on. Never top it up when it's off, as this is a liquid that expands. You tend to have more in than you want. So as you can see there, it's well above max. So if you were to top it up when it was in the middle here, you'd probably be topping it up above maximum. And to top up, you just top up here, and you top up with an Aldi antifreeze liquid, which you can get from most caravan stores or online. But like I said, run the system up first and it'll show a true reading. So now, to operate your toilet, you press the blue button on the back, make sure the pump's on, you'll get your flush. And then what I do is always flush first, which lubricates the blade, and then when using the toilet, use it with the cassette open, the blade open, use the toilet, flush the toilet, and then close the toilet. This stops the blade from sticking and obviously stops the blade from getting dirty. And then you do have an indicator on here. When the cassette becomes full, a light will come on to tell you to empty. Got a little catch here for underneath the sink. You've got storage, and then you've got a bleed point for your Aldi heating here. There's one in the front lounge as well. You've got storage, and there you do have a complimentary bottle of Thetford chemical and your top for your cassette, which just goes in there. Light for your mirror and your spotlights, and the same skylight is in the shower cubicle. And then this also acts as the bedroom door if it was just 2 of yous, but if it was more than 2 of yous in the motorhome, what you can do is you can block the bedroom door off by pulling this across, which means then your guests have got privacy to use the bathroom and you've got privacy in the bedroom. Once you have the travelling seat off in place, underneath is your various electrical units. So you've got your 12 volt unit with all your 12 volt fuses on, which are listed. So I would go and carry some spare blade fuses with you, just in case one does blow, you can change it. You've got your leisure battery, and most of all you've got your trip switches and RCD tester there. So if the vehicle was to be tripped out, try here before you try your main site. And then your 5th belted seat is assembled like so. So it's always a travelling back seat, so this would normally be on there. Turn that round, you've also got a frame which clips in, which I'll show you how to clip in, but this is a frame that lives underneath the bed. So if we just take this off, just velcroed, And then what you need to do is pull the locator bar out, lift up. So now in the cab, so you do have your handbrake to the right of the driver, and then you've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments, which is just the top and the bottom, and then you've got your cab blind. So what you need to do is slide the lever forward, expose the magnet at the front, slide it up, and then the magnet just clips onto the door there, like so, and then you pinch your windscreen ones, slide them together, and they're just on a magnet there. So you just, like so, just on a magnet. But if it's going to be a windy night, I'd advise putting something just round the handles to stop them blowing open. And then down here you've got your various lights controls, so you can dip and lower your headlights. You've got your front and rear fog lights, and you've got your disconnect, your start stop. So if you didn't want that, it would go off. But with the start stop, because motorhomes don't do the mileage a car does, your start stop depends on various things before it will work. The battery's got to be to a certain charge level. You can't have any of this on, otherwise obviously your fans and things, that'll eat more power, so it will need a constant supply of charge. So if you didn't want it on, you would press there. But when you go to because this is 9-speed auto, when you go to the traffic light, so you come to a stop, put your foot on the brake obviously, and it will cut the engine out should the charge be sufficient in the battery. If not, obviously it won't cut out. So all that needs is the battery to be charged up to work again. You've got your lights and your indicators here. Obviously wipers this side with trip computer, which goes through the screen, so it tells you instant, average consumption, your range, your mileage that you've travelled, and your travelling times. You've got all your steering wheel controls, so mute, volume, voice command, hands free. This will scroll through your phone contacts, your media, or your radio channels. You've got your cruise control at the top, which will get your little green button on down here, light. Get the desired speed, then just push up and it'll set the cruise control. Should you have to brake or you want to cancel it, you can either brake and cancel it by the foot brake, or you can press cancel or resume and it'll take it to the last set speed before the engine was turned off. Speed limit at the bottom, which shows you in the top right left hand corner. See, if you press and hold, it goes up in 5s. If you go up in 1s, little bits, it goes up in 1s. So you can set that. But then it does have the kick down function, so should you have to get yourself out of a bit of a situation, you can just put your foot flat to the floor and it will override the speed limiter. 9-speed automatic, so you have got park, so you can put in park, use a handbrake, or if you're on level, a flat surface, you don't need to use a handbrake. But obviously we do advise that you still use your handbrake, as if you weren't to use it, obviously things can seize up, so we do advise that you use it as well. You've got drive modes, which goes on here, so you've got 3 settings: power, eco and normal. I would just leave it in normal myself, and then should you need that extra bit of power, obviously put your foot down and it will drop a gear and give you the power needed. Eco doesn't save you any fuel usage. And then obviously you've got reverse, which brings on your rear view camera and you can hear your sensors beeping there. Neutral, drive, and then you can push over to the left and you can go up and down your gears. So there it's gone to 1, 2, and then across to D for drive. Traction control, hill descent control, with it being an automatic, so it stops it getting away with itself on steep hills. Just basically uses a bit of an engine brake on the engine to slow you down, so that if you have to be on the foot brake all the time. Hazards, locks the doors on an evening, and heated mirrors. 12 volt for charging and a USB for charging. There's your 12 volt for streaming, and I'll get onto that in a moment. Cup holders. Temperature on the outside ring, fan speed on the in, must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work. And then you do have your distribution and whether you're circulating air within the motorhome or bringing fresh air in. Coming to the head unit, so this head unit is Apple CarPlay ready, so as soon as you connect your device it will work for your Apple CarPlay. So you can use your maps and you can basically imitate your phone screen onto here. You've got your radio, which is FM, AM and DAB. You can press 1 to 4 to save, or you can go along and you can save up to 12. So your stations, you go to stations, and then obviously you just refresh and find all your stations you require. Going back home, you've got telephone, so you can connect your phone by going phone, add, find, Fate. So you're searching for Fate 1289 on this device, and you've got a 2-minute countdown, and you'd go onto your phone and pair for that, and the pin will appear. Press pair on here, press pair on your phone, and then it'll ask you if you want to sync your contacts, and you can do that. And then whoever rings you, it'll come up with a number and a name if it's saved instead of just a number. You've got media, which is obviously either, because this doesn't take CD, you can have a USB with all your songs on. You can have your phone, Apple CarPlay, or another phone with USB connectivity, and it'll obviously pair your phone through there and stream your music off your device. You've got your screen off, so you can turn your screen off if you're on site and you don't want your screen on because it's too bright, and then as soon as you touch it, it comes on. And then you've got your, if you're going to use your, this is Motorhome Pacific sat nav through the Fate unit, so you can go onto here and then click down in the right hand corner, new route, and then you can add your places, so address places you've been or save locations, or you can search all and you can search for various, say, fuel stations and so on. And then you're a Ducato, so your name's Ducato. You can put your maximum speed in there, you can put your height, your width, your length in, and if you've got a trailer on or not. So if you're going to put a tow bar on and potentially tow a car or a small trailer, and then you can put your actual weight. So I'll change that because it's, this is 3.65 ton. 2 axles, and you can set various, so you can show the page on the route planning, or you can just have the map on, and obviously you can click here and it'll show you your speed, your arrival time, your time left, and your distance left. So that's quite good if you want to know how long's left of the journey. You can click onto there and it'll show you, and you can turn it on and off here, or you can go, you've got the shortcuts there, radio, media, phone and nav. So that just basically does this top bit on here. And then you do have a glove box here, which is heated and cooled by the air conditioning, so that's great in the summer months if you've got sweets when you're on the road instead of getting back up and down to the fridge. And then should you need it, there's camera assistance number there.